That neighbor with the glassy flagship sedan probably is not secretly rich. They may just understand depreciation better than the showroom crowd. The first owner paid $70,000 for leather, silence, power, and status. Years later, the right buyer pays under 12 grand. The trick is buying the option package, not the repair nightmare. Number 5. Volkswagen Phaeton V8 Motion. The first car looks like a big Passat until the rear door opens and you realize it was built for boardrooms. I would shop 2004 through 2006 Volkswagen Phaeton V8 Motion with the 4.2-liter V8 and 6-speed automatic. Avoid the W12 cars unless you have specialist shop money and understand how tightly everything is packaged. Also avoid dead AIR suspension, water intrusion, weak batteries, electrical faults, overheating history, missing records, and neglected timing belt service. Kelley Blue Book puts the 2006 Phaeton resale near ordinary used compact money, while J.D. Power lists the V8 Motion original price in the upper $60,000 range. In plain English, this was almost a $70,000 luxury sedan when new, and clean V8 cars now show up around $4,500 to $11,000, with 80,000 to 160,000 miles. The market misses it because the trunk says Volkswagen. Most buyers expect a commuter car, not a secret Bentley-feeling sedan with double pane glass, huge rear doors, rich wood, and highway silence. Mechanically, the V8 is the sane path. The 4.2-liter engine and 6-speed automatic are more manageable than the W12, and 4Motion gives all-weather grip without chasing a rare performance model. The weak points are electrical modules, air struts, battery drain, water leaks, timing belt age, and limited shop familiarity. Let the car sit and check ride height at all 4 corners. Lift the trunk floor and look for damp carpet. Turn on every window, seat, mirror, climate zone, and infotainment function. Start cold and watch the temperature gauge until it settles. Buy it if you want the stealthiest flagship here, and you already know a Volkswagen or Audi specialist. Walk away if you need appliance ownership or hate diagnosis. The Phaeton can make you look like the quiet person who bought something rare because you understood it, not because you wanted attention. But do not confuse cheap purchase price with cheap car. A neglected one can drain a wallet through small comfort failures before the engine ever complains. The best Phaeton feels heavy, calm, and dry inside. It does not sag, flicker, drip, or ask you to ignore warning messages. Factory wheels, matching tires, clean records, dry trunk, and a steady temperature needle matter more than shiny paint. If the seller says the suspension only drops sometimes, that is not character. That is a bill warming up. The other thing to watch is ownership attitude. If the previous owner treated it like a cheap Volkswagen, you do not want it. If they treated it like a discount Bentley with service receipts, you can work with that. Check both keys, both batteries, and the climate vents. A car this complex tells you the truth through small details. Dead pixels, wet carpet, weak cranking, and random warning chimes mean the luxury system is tired before the drivetrain even gets a vote. The next vehicle trades stealth for full-size celebrity presence. But suspension and transmission still decide whether the deal is smart. Number 4. Cadillac Escalade Luxury. 6.2 AWD, some cars whisper money. An Escalade parks money right on the curb. I would target 2007 through 2010 Cadillac Escalade Luxury or clean base sport utility models with the 6.2-liter V8, 6L 86-speed automatic, and either all-wheel drive or two-wheel drive depending on condition. Avoid platinum trims if magnetic ride and extra electronics scare your repair budget. Also avoid abused tow rigs, rough shifts, air suspension warnings, broken auto ride, cracked dashboards, dead navigation, worn leather, overheating, and giant modified wheel setups. Kelley Blue Book shows 2008 Escalade values deep under $12,000 now, while period specs list the 6.2 V8 at 403 horsepower with the heavy-duty 6L80 automatic. Current realistic pricing is $7,000 to $12,000 for clean title 2007 through 2010 trucks with 120,000 to 210,000 miles. Clean, low-mile, rust-free examples can cost more, but higher-mile clean trucks still fit the regular buyer story. The market overlooks the Escalade because of gas mileage, old navigation, age, stereotypes, and tire cost. That fear creates value for someone who actually wants space, presence, and GM repair access. Under the Cadillac trim, this is full-size GM truck hardware. The 6.2 and 6L80 are widely understood by GM shops. So many repairs are easier to price than on German flagships. The weak points are auto-ride, rear air suspension, 6L80 wear, oil pressure sensors, motor mounts, front-end wear, cracked dashes, and expensive tires. Marcus, a wedding photographer, finds a $10,900 Escalade with 148,000 miles, takes it to lunch, lets it sit, and checks rear ride height before buying. The lesson is simple. Presence only works when the truck still sits level. Check for service suspension messages. Let it sit and compare rear height, smell transmission fluid, and drive warm for the 2, 3, and 3/4 shifts. Then inspect tire date codes, inside tread wear, and underbody rust. Buy it if you want maximum curb presence, family space, and a repair path every GM truck shop understands. Skip it if parking size, fuel cost, or big tires make you nervous. A healthy Escalade still looks expensive because the body language has not changed much. Big grille, tall hood, leather, captain chairs, and a quiet cabin still read as success to people in traffic. But look past the badge. A truck on cheap, 22-inch tires, sagging rear suspension, and a cracked dash is not luxury. It is a loud invoice. The right one feels tight, shifts clean, sits level, cools properly, and has records showing someone could afford to maintain the image. Also remember that an Escalade wears wealth on parts you can see. Cloudy headlights, peeling wheel finish, cracked leather, and a sagging driver's seat make a rich truck look tired fast. That does not mean you reject it immediately, but you price it honestly. The 6.2 has muscle, but old rubber, weak mounts, and lazy maintenance can make the whole truck feel cheaper than a clean Tahoe. The next car brings the Porsche badge under 12 grand, but only the right engine keeps the dream from getting expensive. If this keeps your wallet out of a rich-looking money pit, subscribe. We buy records, inspections, and repair access before badges. Number 3. Porsche Panamera V6 Sedan. The Panamera is the car that makes people ask what you do for a living before they know what you paid. I would shop 2011 through 2013. Porsche Panamera base V6 sedan with the 3.6-liter V6 and PDK transmission. Avoid Panamera S4S Turbo and higher output V8 cars if you want the lowest risk under $12,000 path. Also avoid air suspension faults, missing coolant leak history, neglected PDK service, warning lights, cheap tires, oil leaks, and worn brakes. Kelley Blue Book shows the 2011 Panamera sedan starting around $11,000 today and lists an original price near $77,000. Edmunds shows a wide value range because condition and trim change everything. Realistically, $9,000 to $12,000 buys a higher mile base V6 car with 100,000 to 170,000 miles. Cleaner low-mile cars cost more, and the V8 cars can tempt you until you price the repairs. The market punishes four-door Porsche depreciation. Sports car people want a 911. Luxury buyers fear Porsche maintenance. And regular sedan buyers assume every repair will hurt. That fear is fair, but it also creates status for used Accord money if you buy the right version. The base V6 avoids the heat and packaging of V8 turbo models, while the PDK can be strong when serviced and not abused. The weak points are PDK service cost, AIR suspension, if equipped, coolant pipe or thermostat housing leaks, control armware, brakes, and tires. Scan for codes before the drive. Check for coolant smell near the front of the engine. Drive slowly and listen for suspension knocks. Test PDK engagement from park to drive and reverse when warm. Buy it if you want the biggest bad shock here and can budget real Porsche maintenance. Walk away if you think a Porsche should cost Corolla money to service. The Panamera is not for a buyer who wants invisible repairs. Even the base car wears Porsche-priced brakes, Porsche-sized tires, and Porsche expectations from shops. But the driving experience is different from normal cheap luxury. The steering, seating position, brake feel, and body control make it feel like a real driver's car stretched into a sedan. That is why people still turn their heads. The trick is to keep the spec boring. No V8 ego, no neglected air suspension, no warning lights, no mystery tune. A clean V6 with records can look like a six-figure decision from across the parking lot. A dirty one with cheap tires and delayed engagement can become a project before the first oil change. Inspect the owner as hard as the car. Matching quality tires and a clean service folder matter more than black wheels or fresh wax. I would also check brake rotor lips with your fingers, not just your eyes. Porsche brakes can look fine from 3 feet away and still need money soon. Run your hand along the tire edges for chopping, because worn suspension will show there first. A base Panamera with boring records is better than a louder S model with a seller pretending warning lights are personality. The next car is quieter than the Porsche, but it started as a true aluminum flagship and depreciated like a stone. Number 2. Audi A8L 4.2 Quattro. The A8L is what happens when a $75,000 executive car becomes invisible to used car shoppers. I would target 2008 through 2010 Audi A8L 4.2 Quattro with the 4.2-liter V8 and 6-speed automatic. Avoid W12 cars, S8 V10 cars, neglected air suspension cars, MMI failures, timing chain noise, coolant leaks, transmission clunks, dead soft close doors, and broken comfort electronics. Kelley Blue Book shows the 2008 A8 originally priced in the mid-$70,000 range, with current values that can sit below normal used midsize sedans. Realistic clean A8L 4.2 Quattro pricing is $6,500 to $12,000 with 90,000 to 170,000 miles. Dirt cheap examples below that usually need suspension, electronics, or deferred engine work. The market overlooks it because used Audi flagship fear is real. Buyers know AIR suspension, MMI electronics, and engine access can cost money, so even clean cars get ignored. Mechanically, the aluminum space frame helps resist the structural rust that kills many old luxury cars, and the 4.2 VA8 with Quattro gives smooth, all-weather luxury without W12 packaging. The weak points are air suspension, MMI, oil leaks, carbon buildup on direct injection versions, chain noise, and expensive front suspension arms. Lena, a hotel manager, compares an $8,900 A8L with 132,000 miles against a cheaper W12. She tests every soft close door and every suspension height, then learns the right engine matters more than the biggest badge. Let the car sit and check all four corners for sag. Raise and lower the suspension. Test MMI, soft close doors, parking sensors, heated seats, and climate control. Start cold and listen for chain noise. Buy it if you want quiet flagship comfort, Quattro grip, and aluminum body presence under 12 grand. Walk away if you cannot afford an Audi specialist. The A8L looks rich in a different way from the Escalade or Porsche. It does not shout. It looks like a car from an airport executive lane. All long doors, clean paint, and silent movement. Inside, the materials still beat almost anything you can buy new for $12,000. That is the depreciation loophole. The original owner paid for leather, wood, sound deadening, aluminum engineering, and German complexity. You inherit the good parts only if the bad parts have been controlled. I want to see service records, not seller confidence. A soft, close door that does not pull itself shut is a small symptom of a big attitude. The owner stopped fixing luxury features. If the suspension rises slowly, the screen freezes, the chain rattles cold, or the front end knocks over bumps, do not let the low price hypnotize you. Value is only value when the inspection agrees. The long wheelbase matters too. Rear doors are huge, the back seat feels expensive, and the cabin has that quiet bank president feel. That is why people assume it still costs money. But that silence disappears quickly when the front suspension is loose. During the drive, let go lightly on a straight road and feel whether it tracks clean. If it wanders, the fancy body is hiding ordinary worn parts. Number 1. Keeps the flagship size but swaps the V8 risk for BMW's straight 6 strategy. Subscribe if you like luxury depreciation explained without hype. The badge is fun, but the inspection keeps the dream affordable. Number 1. BMW 740L I Sedan. Number 1 wins because it gives you the 7 Series look without forcing you into the scary V8. I would shop 2011 through 2012. BMW 740L Sedan. Rear-wheel drive with the turbocharged 3.0-liter inline-six and 6-speed automatic. Avoid 750i and 750L V8 cars from 2009 through 2012 if you want the cleaner regular buyer path, because early N63 V8 ownership can get expensive fast. Avoid 760L V12 cars entirely for this topic. Also avoid xDrive if you want fewer driveline parts, active suspension warnings, oil leaks, cooling neglect, worn control arms, cheap run flats, battery messages, and electrical warnings. Kelley Blue Book says the 2012 7 Series 740 I started just over $70,000 when new, and current 740 Li resale can sit around $7,000 depending on condition. Cars.com confirms the turbocharged 3.0-liter inline-six. Realistic pricing is $7,500 to $12,000 for clean title 2011 through 2012. 740Li sedans with 90,000 to 170,000 miles. Ultra clean, low-mile cars cost more, but regular condition cars often fall under 12 grand because everyone fears a used 7 Series. The fear is not childish, it is just pointed at the wrong engine sometimes. Most horror stories circle the V8 and V12 cars. The 740Li gives the flagship body, long rear door, big back seat, luxury cabin, and BMW presence, while avoiding the worst early 750 V8 reputation. Mechanically, the turbo inline-six is less crowded and less heat-soaked than the twin-turbo V8. It still needs BMW-level maintenance, but the straight 6 layout is a more realistic entry point for a careful buyer. The weak points are oil filter housing gasket leaks, valve cover leaks, electric water pump, cooling system parts, control arm bushings, run flat tire cost, battery registration, and aging electronics. Grant, a regional sales manager, chooses a $10,800 740Li with 118,000 miles over a cheaper 750Li, pays for a scan and leak inspection, and learns the rich look is safer when the engine choice is honest. Scan for codes. Start cold and listen for rough idle. Look around the oil filter housing and valve cover for leaks. Drive warm and feel shift quality. Inspect front tires and control arm movement during braking. Buy it if you want. Real long wheelbase luxury and the smartest BMW engine choice in this body. Walk away if you cannot pay for BMW preventive maintenance. This is the car that makes the depreciation loophole feel almost unfair. From the curb, most people just see BMW, long rear door, chrome trim, soft leather, and a cabin that looks like an executive lounge. They do not know the original buyer absorbed the cliff. They do not know you avoided the scary V8. They just see a 7 Series. But your job is not to impress strangers first. Your job is to keep the car from owning your wallet. A healthy 740L. I should idle clean, cool steadily, shift smoothly, and have no warning lights trying to start a negotiation. Check the tires closely. 4 matching quality tires tell you the owner knew the car was still a premium machine. Look for oil around the filter housing because that leak can spread onto belts and make a simple problem more expensive. The rich look is real, but so is the responsibility. If you buy the wrong one, the badge becomes the cheapest part of the story. That is why number 1 is not about bravery. It is about choosing the right engine, the right drivetrain, the right records, and the right inspection before the seller gets paid. The slower badge is the smarter badge here. It still looks wealthy from outside, but it gives you fewer reasons to fear every heat-soaked mile. Every cheap flagship needs one exact inspection before it becomes smart. Read the records, scan the modules, check the leaks, warm the drivetrain, and make the car earn the image. If this list changes how you judge cheap flagships, subscribe. The rich look only works when the inspection protects your wallet. Buyer roadmap. Buy the Volkswagen Phaeton V8 4Motion, not the W12, if you want the stealth flagship look under 12 grand. Air suspension height, water intrusion, timing belt records, battery health, and electrical function decide the deal. Buy the Cadillac Escalade Luxury 6.2 AWD for the biggest curb presence and GM truck shop familiarity. Auto ride messages, rear sag, 6L80 shift quality, tire date codes, and underbody rust are the hard checks. Buy the Porsche Panamera V6 sedan if you want Porsche status without jumping into the V8 repair ceiling. PDK behavior, coolant leaks, air suspension, brakes, tires, and warning lights decide whether it is brave or foolish. Buy the Audi A8L 4.2 Quattro if you want aluminum flagship comfort and all-weather luxury. Air suspension sag, MMI function, soft closed doors, timing noise, oil leaks, and specialist records decide the car. Buy the rear-wheel drive BMW 740Li sedan if you want. The 7 Series look without the early 750 V8 risk. Oil leaks, cooling health, control arm wear, run flat tires, battery registration, and scan results decide whether it is smart. The first owner paid for status, options, and depreciation. You only win if you refuse to buy their neglected maintenance. A cheap flagship is not a cheap car. It is an expensive car at a cheap purchase price. That sentence should stay in your head while you shop. The badge creates the look. But records, inspection, and the right engine keep it from owning your wallet. Buy the one that starts cold, sits level, shifts warm, stays dry, scans clean, and has proof the expensive parts were not ignored. If the seller rushes you, hides warning lights, or says luxury cars always do that, leave. The car should make you look rich, not prove you were careless. I also like one more rule. Never let original MSRP make the decision for you. It only explains why the car looks expensive, not whether the car in front of you is healthy. A $70,000 car with cheap tires, old coolant, and no records is not a loophole. It is a trap wearing leather. That means you should compare more than purchase price. Compare tires, fluids, battery age, suspension parts, and specialist access. The clean $12,000 car may be cheaper than the $8,000 car after 1 month. Luxury depreciation opens the door, but maintenance math decides whether you should walk through it. When a flagship feels wrong on the test drive, do not negotiate harder. Leave, because the repair bill already found you. Subscribe for calm, practical luxury buying advice. Click the next video playing on your screen right now. It covers cheap dream cars that turn expensive without inspection, and records matter.